Did it?
Okay.
Cool, I gotta jump out.
Can you get that in there first?
It's in there. I gotta jump out, guys. I'll be back in a minute, but they are here.
Someone called you back.
Here I am. I didn't bring any food. Actually, Aurora's bringing it because we're having grill issues. It's on its way though.
There's only one cake.
Here. Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's already 67 likes. We were needed.
Zach is out cleaning debris from underneath the planter.
Someone called you mom.
We are doing great. Say hi.
Hi.
I'm multitasking at the moment, so bear with us.
What are you doing on there?
I'm going to pull comments up because I can't read them.
Plant. That's what they want to see. Your hand is over the camera.
We're bad at
Hang on.
this.
Not that. There we go.
I need a new live stream manager.
Hi. Hi
What are they saying, Onyx? Mom's being silent.
I'm trying
Hi
to get
from
it up on
Canada. Everyone's saying where they're from.
Where they're from?
Somebody from Ohio.
Live stream must be run by a case. That's right. Do you want to hold it? No?
Sure.
I'll
Okay,
hold
so
it
you've
behind
got-
the planter.
I'm just watching it on yours.
Yeah, just so you can read the comments.
Right. How is planting going? We have. I had to take my main iPad down, so it's over here. But we've got 953 acres done now, so far. So we've got. Let's see. 600 to go. 500 to go.
Can I record?
Conditions just got good. How do I turn the volume off? Because I can hear myself talking. It messes with me. Conditions just got good. Finally dried up enough to get going hard, so we're going to go pretty hard this week. And it looks like rain this weekend, so that'll be awesome.
How many total acres do we farm?
2650 right now.
How is Ditch? Ditch is doing well. She's still got a little bit of a limp to her, but she seems to be making.
I think
We're
someone-
from Minnesota.
I think someone might have put a P on accident in front of me. Because it said, "What's up, P?"
Dustin Ingram says, it's about time you live stream. Stay safe. Dustin, we have a difficult time live streaming.
It's not that difficult. It took us
We
4
make it
minutes.
difficult. The Squad Gaming. I love your vids and hope to be a farmer one day, but for now I play Farm Simulator 19. Any chance your farm will become a map on the game?
Yes.
Yes, good chance. Very good chance. It is in the process right now. That's about all I can say.
This guy says he's enjoyed your interactions with Bales Hay on NJ on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's been fun lately. We've been there's been a big group of farmers getting together on there, giving each other a bunch of crap. Riley says hi from Paynesville, right between St. Cloud and Wilmer. I've been through Paynesville many times.
What seed are we planting?
Right now, we are planting channel 19449. We're gonna adjust this. You want to read some? Okay, can you see from there? Yeah, so we're planting a new channel hybrid. It's a 94-day maturity, 194.49. Did really well on their tests last year, and so that's what we're planting. We're planting corn on corn right now, which is not. Just gotta turn the volume up. Which is not super normal for us, but because of the market fundamentals, that's what we're doing. Hi from Indiana. Silver Stacker says pineapples. Joe Wright. Keep up the hard work. Thank you, Joe. Holy smokes.
Do you guys prefer to look at us or the planter?
Native Sailor says, how about the Packers? Yeah, how about? They were on the couch before the Vikings were last year.
Okay.
Do I know who's? I don't know him, but I know who he is. You want to just ignore that?
Reading comments on the cell phones. The service is bad? Shouldn't
It's
be.
always, well, look how fuzzy it is.
Service is bad.
It wasn't a minute ago. Maybe we're just down in a low spot.
Somebody asked you like the Cowboys.
I'm going to try and see if I can wipe that camera up a bit.
Charlie Herb asked,
Did that help at all?
Thank you, Pete Miller.
Dad, do you like the Cowboys?
What did he say?
You watch this more than cable.
Jeez.
Cable's not even a thing anymore, is it?
Thank you, Pete. Wow. Well, we got another
From
roll
Western
cleaner
New
plugged up.
York.
For the farmers out there, how do I stop these roll cleaners from plugging up in the corn stalks?
Taco Tuesday, Jordan Cole.
Aurora's trying to get here to deliver burgers, and she's lost.
She's lost.
She didn't grow up in the country. It's a real struggle sometimes.
Tell her to take the gravel road north until she crosses the tar road.
She doesn't know which way north is.
Hi from Australia.
Somebody's
The
from
sun will be on her left.
Australia.
Somebody's from Australia.
Aurora trying to call.
Hello, Aurora.
For those who
Hung up.
she hung up. Aurora is our niece who lives with us.
She's
Who
in a few
does she
minutes.
have food?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
bringing you the
she's
burger.
bringing the burgers. Okay.
Hi from Brazil. Somebody's in Brazil.
They're going so fast. You should. You just put roll cleaners on. We want to take them off. Yeah. It's been a learning curve for me. J.E. from Anoka. Hello. Thank you. This Jared is an ex-Playboy model and wants to work on a farm firsthand. A lot of ex-Playboy models are named Jared.
I told her.
Chance to do any racing. Do you ever get a chance to do any racing? I do. Not as much as we used to, but Saturday night we did race. It was our first
Won.
race of the year. We did win. Every time I touch it, the comments go away.
What's your favorite pair of shoes? And what is case? $5.
I do not know what a case is. Well, I've got a case on my phone. And my favorite shoes are probably my my Irish setter boots that I got from Chet's Shoes, which is a family-owned Minnesota company, of course, since I think 1949. Is your farm going to see an S-Series combine anytime soon? Tough to say. Not this year, though. There will not be an S-Series this year. But I might have something just as exciting as an S-Series in the works. There's a little tease. I think we should make them guess on what it is, what it could be. What could be as exciting as an S-Series?
Dad, the stream is behind.
They will be fine.
Do you have, sometimes if you touch it, you have to scroll again to catch up.
Hi, Max.
Or did you just put your stream on 30 seconds delay?
Oh, they're always a little bit behind
Somebody
compared to the
said
one
hi,
that's
Welker
recording.
Farms. Are they here watching us?
Oh, watching? I'm so nervous. There's a celebrity watching.
Host. Yep. Oh, maybe not.
Somebody says it's probably a John Deere RX that they think will be coming this fall. A couple people thought maybe a Fendt Ideal. Somebody else says 9RX.
Somebody says hello from the Twins game.
From the Twins game, nice.
They're mean tonight.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, if there's not, they're going to be disappointed in the overpriced beer with no game to watch.
I'm gonna look up the score.
Audio must be okay on that thing. Nobody's
So,
saying it's not.
somebody said, how's the family? We're all doing great. The girls are there. Well, Aurora's supposed to be bringing a burger for Zach. We were having
What's
a
the
grill
score to the
malfunction
Minnesota
tonight.
Twins
We
game?
just bought a brand new grill. And then the girls are
The Angels 1-0.
pretty pumped up about that.
Twins are winning.
How many horses in this green machine? 306 side is what Noel figures we might be getting this fall.
Another
Maybe.
Another guy from Australia, Nick B.
What did Nick B say in Australia?
Nothing. He just said hi from Australia.
Oh, he just said hi. You have to get Nick from Welker Farms to show you how to do the live stream. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
When you have fish houses out.
$10
always
from
passionate.
$10 I can't pronounce that.
Are we back
Walleye
now?
something?
I think we're back now. How big is the planter?
60 feet, 24 row 30-inch planter. How does Welker get service when he does live streams out in
Middle of
Montana?
nowhere.
Yeah, how come we never have service? We have phone service.
4G service here, so it should be. I don't know how to make it any better. I wonder if you could use
Is it
that
on-
thing that Verizon. Oh no, that one.
Is it on Wi-Fi trying to pick up someone's Wi-Fi and it's messing with it?
Someone spelled my name O-N-X-Y.
Yeah. Anxie? Here, let's let them see the planter.
Before the X.
There's the planter. There it is. Please say hi to Mark. Hello, Mark. No, we don't need a better data plan. I pay the data plans on this thing.
Lake. Somebody said there's lake, but I don't have it. Oh, now I do.
Yes, we are doing a farm simulator map. To do that, I'm gonna have to ask Nick about that. What's up with Onyx's new haircut? Well, see, Onyx thought he needed long hair to play hockey, so he refused to get a haircut. And now it's baseball season. He's super into baseball, and he decided he needed a baseball haircut instead of a hockey haircut.
That is not what I thought.
Yeah,
I
that's
said
exactly
it was
what happened,
summer
bud.
and I needed a haircut.
Oh, his long hair was
Oh.
getting too hot. Mount a cell phone booster inside the cab for live streams.
Service is bad. We need a big magnetic
Onyx
external
is-
antenna.
I think Chad Johnson is the first one to spell my name correct.
Oh yeah? Wonder if that's
Onyx's
Chad.
haircut looks good. Thanks.
I wonder if that's the Chad Johnson we know. If it is, hi Chad. If it's not, hi Chad. Someone is 22 years old, growing up on a family farm. Can you explain why and how young guys should and can stay in agriculture with today's economy. Oh gosh. Oh, that's a deep question.
Marry somebody who has farmland.
How and why should you stay? Well, somebody's got to do it, and eventually it will turn around. I mean, those are the economics of it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's always been that way. It'll probably always be that way. Just because it's not good now doesn't mean it'll be that way forever. So.
When will the map be out?
I am hoping the map will be out. I'm hoping midsummer would be cool, but we're not super confident in that, so we're not trying to hype it up right now.
Is my name that hard to spell?
Yes.
It is.
Do you know who Dennis Johnson is? My mom is from the Starbuck area. I don't believe I know a Dennis.
Somebody commented it will the map be on PS4. Yes, it will. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that is the plan, to have it on PS4.
That's what I have.
This iPad gets really heavy after you stick your arm straight out and hold it for a while.
Do you have a favorite car?
How
Favorite
many-
car?
Cody Adams.
How many what?
How many acres are we farming this year?
2,650.
Hey, Aurora found us.
Do I play video games? No.
I do.
Onyx does. I am not a gamer. I used to play the old Nintendo, the old Mario Brothers. Maybe some Excite Bike. Maybe Brandon's watching. He'll remember playing Excite Bike.
What is the bucket for on the planter?
I hang that bucket there so that if we load it unevenly, and when you get down there, if it's loaded unevenly, you can transfer seed from one side to the other. I just hung it there 5 years ago, and it's hung there ever since, because I use it sometimes. How long will the planter run between fills? On corn, about 125 acres. So if you got good going, 4 hours.
They want to see Onyx drive the tractor.
Steve says he loves the Facebook stories. Keep them coming. So my Facebook stories this morning, I linked. By the way, thanks Amanda for letting me know I could link my Instagram stories to Facebook. So I did that, but it doesn't look like they're all coming through. There's a whole bunch yet that are on Instagram, but not on Facebook. So I don't know if they'll come through eventually or what.
Nicky Boy 55, whatever the numbers are. Does Onyx play Battlefield V?
Do you play Battlefield?
No.
Battlefield
I don't
5?
really know what that is.
He was playing a fair amount of Fortnite, but now that it's gotten to be nice out, he's a good boy and goes outside most days. He built a sweet tree fort.
She parked up there.
Will the map be...
We should show
Should
the
we just
internet.
turn around?
We should show the internet what it's like to have a teenage daughter.
She's gonna watch this. So she parked up there, but this is where we're headed. Like, she thinks the tractor. No, I'm just gonna turn around if you're not here, Aurora.
Will the map be out for Xbox also? Brandon Lips.
She did make me burgers.
Should we send Onyx to go grab the burger?
Can he carry it all?
Dad, will the map be out on Xbox? Someone asked.
Yes. it will
I'm not
be.
sure, dude. Onyx is apparently really excited about this map.
Can you go grab the burger for your dad, please? Yeah. Thank you.
Am I holding it correctly, Beck?
I think so. Oh, I should.
You have the thing in your hand.
Sorry. I'm not. You may have lost it.
Support connections.
It's there.
Even Scotch tape the silverware.
What a good
She
woman.
put some effort into that.
Ow, my
Oh.
toe.
You have to slam that burger. Maybe not. Maybe I got it.
Oh, I got it.
There we go. Okay.
Laura made Zach a Juicy Lucy for dinner.
Juicy.
Does anybody know what that is? Is that maybe that's just a Minnesota thing? I think they may call it something else.
Isn't it just a stuffed burger?
No, but I think it has different names.
Onyx, don't do that.
I think it's called other things in other states.
It's stuffed
A
burger.
burger stuffed with cheese.
Hi from Wisconsin, Cameron Patterson.
Oh, hey, somebody's gonna know this. Is this a weather balloon? I found this in a field this morning. Somebody's gonna know, but check out the antenna on that. Check out all that. Somebody's gonna know what they're looking at here. Did I find a weather balloon? Or did I just find like an old walkie-talkie?
No, he found a piece of garbage.
Well, that's what old weather balloons are. They're a piece of garbage.
Somebody said I have a really big Minnesotan accent.
What? Gee whiz, that's too bad.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've also never ever heard that before. You're the first
How?
one.
I
Somebody
think
asked
they just say that because they know you're from Minnesota.
that. Somebody asked how old is he, which I don't know who he is. Probably you.
Just give them an answer.
I'm 9.
What kind of shades do you have?
These ones, these are Oakley gas cans. I've been kind of collecting them over the years. I've tried a couple different ones, but I just like these ones. It's part of the space shuttle. I think you're right, Jim. It's part of the space shuttle, no doubt.
I'm having adult beverages, so I can't drive the tractor tonight.
Juicy Lucy is in Ohio too.
I got food, but nothing to drink.
I am drinking a Coors Light. I'll drink really anything. As long as it's cold.
Yeah, right. You said you only like some beer in the summer.
Zach likes lemon beers, like Summer Shandy and Shock Top. I'm actually not a huge fan of those. I like lemons way too much. I don't know. They don't belong in beer. But I like to put olives and pickles in my beer.
Kyle Bam.
Olives don't belong in anything.
Kyle Bam commented on it. We should play video games together.
Put your what is it called? Your name for your gaming on in the comments, and maybe Onyx will come back later and find it.
Wait, what were you saying?
We'll put their names.
You're gonna have to help with that now.
Olives are not awful. They're delicious.
Or maybe should I tell my name? It'd probably be easier.
Tim's wondering what college I went to. I went to Northwest Technical College in Bemidji, Minnesota.
Favorite professional sport team?
Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota Twins, Minnesota Wild.
Who is it, Onyx?
Who then?
Minnesota Twins with Vikings.
That's just what your dad just said.
Yeah.
He said Wild.
Wild can be on that list.
We don't like
How is it
basketball.
going tonight, and how is the planting going? The planting's going well. We have, what did I say? 900 and some acres in right now total. Today's going pretty good. We've been slowed down a lot this year by obviously rain, but then also by limitations on fertilizer.
How's the new digger?
The new digger's awesome. New field cultivator.
Comment
Works
below
awesome.
what you want the name for and which game, because I have no clue which game they want my name for, because it's different in each game.
Yeah, Onyx wants to know what game you want to play with him on, because he has different, what do they call it, user IDs?
User IDs.
Somebody asked what kind of
I don't know.
sunglasses I'm wearing. They're from Target.
Target.
Yes.
Those
I'm
are
not
my
nearly as
sunglasses.
responsible as Zach, so I can't have expensive sunglasses, because I do things like leave them on my dashboard and they just like get thrown from side to side, and then the kids step on them, and you know, they get to the bottom of the beach bag.
I get a pair. I've had like 5 expensive pairs in my life since I was 15 years old. Each pair averages over 3 years.
And I've had,
So I find it worth the money because I wear them constantly. If Betty is delivering beer, this guy's only 15, 20 miles away. I'll ask her. You're probably out of luck. pretty difficult to get her to deliver beer to me, and I'm only 1 mile away most of the
You're
time.
not allowed to drink and drive the tractor anyways.
How do you like MB Customs? Well, they work. I like them. I love them.
Are you going to Farm Fest?
Yes, I will be at Farm Fest. A specific day, but it's in the calendar on my phone.
But in the
I think it's the middle day.
Business. Oh, you'll be.
Well,
in a
I'll
couple
be there.
different
I'll be there
booths.
with Farmers Business Network and with May West out of Hutchinson.
CJ Manning, $1. One tractor that you want other than Jamie.
One tractor that I want other than John Deere. I mean, I don't have a super allegiance to John Deere. It's what we have because we have the local dealer that's so good. But Deere are good too. I mean, obviously. But I have no. I mean, the Challenger was an awesome tractor. Honestly, I am aware that there are red ones out there, and I have no issues with them. It's just fun to poke at them.
You did enjoy the Challenger.
I loved the Challenger actually.
I need
Loved it.
my other beer.
I don't know how to grab it back.
You
I'm
can't
turning
multitask.
a tractor well live on the air and trying not to rip down the neighbor's fence.
You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Here, why don't you hold this?
Okay.
Somebody just super chatted. See what they said.
Okay. Hello from Saskatchewan, Canada.
See, now I forgot
Good
to
luck
put the
with
planter down.
seeding. Just starting up here. Sorry, I've got my darn finger on the camera. There.
For Pete's sakes, man.
Dad,
Pete's
somebody
sakes, man.
commented, do you play Farming Simulator on your time off?
No, I do not play Farming Simulator. No games for me.
Okay. I don't have the arm strength for this.
Alright, fine. Go like this. Go back to that. You guys want to look at us, or should I redo the mount so you can just stare at the planter? Have I been to Washington, D.C.? Yes. I was pretty young.
I was just there. I went on a school trip with Aurora, and it was amazing, actually.
Brian Armstrong, planter.
Was Zach eating a pizza fry the other day?
Pizza fry. On an Instagram story? Is that what he's asking? I ate
Where's Austin?
I had a Pizza Ranch cheese stick on an Instagram story.
Where's Austin?
Onyx wants to know if you're here watching. I mean Justin.
Yeah, Justin.
Justin.
Somebody asked about
We actually
the
called
Texas
Kevin.
Skyball. It's out here today too. If you're on Instagram and you watch the stories, you'll get that. Did you have a lot of problems with erosion in the field this spring? We had some areas that did wash because of the heavier snow melt, much heavier snow melt than normal. So we had a little bit there.
Where's Didge? She's at home in the yard running around with Anna. She's doing much better. By the end of the day, she's a little sore, but... Hey, Becky, ask Zach if he wants my case. Walker Farms.
Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I'd take that.
Send it over.
Drive it out here for a day. We'll make some videos together and I'll see how that thing drives. Why the Lloyd Christmas haircut? Well, I guess I just tell the ladies to cut my hair and that's what they give me.
He actually had a Lloyd
I
haircut.
had a much worse Lloyd Christmas haircut a couple of years ago.
One of his first YouTube
Welker
videos.
Farms.
Yeah, and I told her it was messed up when I came home from the haircut and she acted like she couldn't tell.
Welker Farms, too bad.
Too bad. I guess that means Nick's not bringing the tractor. Hello from Norway. Can I help you with the planting? I wish you could. We could use another tractor, another planter, and another guy, and then someone to run the sprayer and the seed tender and the roller, and another digger.
Blue Wayne Scott, I think that's how you pronounce it. Are you hiring?
We are not hiring. All right, we got a couple highlighted ones we should read, Onyx.
What do you
on
think of the trade war escalation? How is it affecting your farm? Good question.
Haven't heard about it. I'm kidding, obviously. I wish it wasn't at the point where it's at, but well, I believe that it was time to do something. That China has been taking advantage of us for a long time. It was time to do something. Unfortunately, playing the nice guys wasn't working, so this is the point we're at now. Unfortunately, I'm cautiously optimistic, but right now, yeah, it stings. But you know, we're not selling beans right now either, so we market throughout the year. So it's not like, I mean, no money's been taken out of my pocket yet, but I do have beans in the bin.
Hello from Norway. We're about to drop the first seeds in the ground next week. Great videos. Been following you since last summer. Keep it up. I would say your name, but I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
It's a Norwegian name.
Very.
Terhe? Thank you anyway.
Yes.
Glad you guys are out. Here in eastern South Dakota, we haven't been able to get fertilizer down yet. You ever get around the Sioux Falls area? Yeah. I was in Sioux Falls like 3 or 4 times this winter.
We do not have any irrigated land.
0. What is your favorite war movie?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Well, We Were Soldiers was one that I watched a lot. I honestly don't know if I've watched 3 movies in the last 10 years.
We have 4 kids, so movies are kind of just a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are out. Here in eastern South Dakota, we haven't even been able to get fertilizer down yet.
We had that one back for Pete's sake. Saving Private Ryan, that was a good one.
My favorite war movie is probably the Avengers Endgame. Does that count as a war movie?
I think so.
Hang on in the end here, Alex. Somebody said hi from Stuttgart, Arkansas. I always wanted to go duck hunting there.
How come we only plant corn and soybeans? That's what I want to know.
Well, there just really is not, I mean, there's not a better market for anything else in our area. We can grow really good corn, and that's what the market wants. I mean, we can grow sunflowers if we want to drive to Enderlin, North Dakota, but they're hit and miss, and we don't have the equipment for it. We can grow hemp, but you're going to have to contract with a company and hope that the market doesn't crash, and there's going to be growing pains with that. We don't have the equipment for it. Well, you can grow wheat if you don't want to make any money.
What about hops? We looked into that briefly.
Yeah, I would like to grow hops, but it's really expensive to get into that, and it takes about 3 years to get a solid crop. So, but I've looked into hops. Hops would be awesome. How many wins do you have in your racing career? I know it's around 100 and I know it's over 130, but I don't think it's 150.
I remember your 100th win. It wasn't.
My 100th win was the 2012 Fall Classic.
Yeah, so it was quite a while ago. Watch out for dump truck size rocks. Love the content from you guys. I never miss an upload.
This field's not bad for rocks. I don't have to go around any out here.
Thank you, Mike.
Jonas?
I've heard there's a lot of Norwegians in Minnesota. Do you have any Norwegian relatives?
Well,
Zach is mostly
we are
Swedish, and I'm a bit muddy.
What am I?
Yeah, the Norwegians settled somewhere else. It's all Sweden on this side of Lowry.
Swedish, and what's on the other side? Bohemian.
Yes, Bohemian.
What am I?
We're too far away from all of that.
I think I'm mostly Danish and Italian,
What am I? British?
but it's debatable. Onyx thinks he's British.
Not sure where that would
What
come
side
from.
says?
Yes, Onyx
please
is
don't
British.
lean up against the door, but it's not safe.
Is your dad home? Well, he's running around right now. Actually, he should be done running the digger, but that's what he was doing. Have you ever grown peas? No. They do grow peas about 15 miles that way on the irrigated sand, or on the irrigated soil, where they can get the contracts with the companies. But out here, we have too many rocks and no irrigators, so it's tough to get a pea contract.
Onyx Welker Farm says they'll play Farm Simulator with you.
You need dairy cows.
No, we don't.
I really like Clint Boyer.
When I met him, it was Sterling Marlin way back.
Sterling Marlin, still Sterling Marlin, Ward Burton. I follow Ward Burton on Instagram now. Love that guy. But Clint Boyer and Blaney. I really like Ryan Blaney because of his dad in the old sprint car days.
Do you like fireworks? He likes lighting them off.
Who doesn't like fireworks?
Bohemian Rhapsody, good tune. Oh, it hurts. Degree. Neither of us have one.
No, I guess technically we don't. I would have had a degree in automotive machining, but Randy's gonna love this, but he thinks it's hilarious when I say that I broke my hip. But I broke my hip when I was 20 years old and did not actually get to finish out the last 3-4 months of college.
Evan, right, when do you start planting beans?
We start planting beans as soon as we can. Right now we got to get as much corn in as we can.
From Illinois, 50 miles south of Chicago. The company I'm with and the farmers haven't been able to go into the fields for almost 3 weeks.
Jeez. That's in the promised land too, south of Chicago.
Hello from South Arkansas. Full swing in tomato season here. All the rain has been killing us. We drip irrigate 200 acres under black plastic beds, so rain equals bad. Keep the videos coming. Was farming always your career choice?
For a while, I thought about going into something with law enforcement, and then ultimately, actually, oddly enough, wanted to be a conservation officer. And then I decided I was going to start an engine shop and build race car engines. And then I came back to farming.
What about your airplane?
Nothing looked better. That was a hobby, dude.
Can we see the finished product for Master Pipe Layer on the ditch project? Yes.
Yes, that video got edited today.
Yeah, I edited 2 videos today, so there should be some good content coming up.
See the one from Jason?
No.
Jason says, Mrs. Farmer, I'll finish my beer if you finish yours. Ready? Go.
No. So this is my last one, so I have to make it last.
What about kidney or navy beans? So we have actually grown kidney beans in the past, and they were all right. Honestly, I was fairly young when Dad got out of them.
Are you going to be at USA Nationals in Cedar Lake?
Doubtful. I'd have to look at my schedule, but I have run the USA Nationals a couple of times, but I doubt that we'll be there this summer. But awesome show. What's the miles per hour? Right now I'm going 5 because this is corn on corn, and the residue is kind of bouncing the row units a little bit, so I'm driving slower. But this morning on good bean ground, I was driving 5.6, 5.8, and it was doing a pretty good job.
What tractor are you in?
An 8360 RT, John Deere.
One Lonely Farmer's here.
One Lonely Farmer's
Hi,
here.
Wes. What's the best advice you can offer to my wife and I as brand new parents? Oh boy. I don't know. Sleep.
Show the new piece of cake out here.
Let your wife sleep.
So there's what we're looking out at.
Don't
Field.
because they sleep until 12.
Sit down, bud.
What year is your planter? This is a 2014. We bought it new in 14. Oh yeah, sugar beets. There are sugar beets to the south, the west, and the north of us, and maybe even to the northeast. But we have too many rocks here. Sugar beets are not an option either. They're close though. There's a lot of other things close, but right in this area, there's just nothing other than corn and soybeans. What they say, potatoes? There's potatoes to the northeast, again on the irrigated ground, mostly by one farmer.
Last week before the rain, we got about 2,000 acres spread, mostly urea. Still have a lot to cover. I drive tender truck for CHS and deal with grain operations in the off season. Alexander Schreiber. Wiskowski. I am a 10-year-old Ohio farmer and love to farm. Way to go, Ryan. Somebody keeps asking about the pizza fry. I must have missed that.
Pizza fry? I'm not sure what that must. The only thing they could be talking about is the pizza ranch cheese stick thing that I had when I Instagram storied with Randy. Somebody, we missed one here.
Can you say hi to Diego?
Hi, Diego.
How are the trash cleaners working on corn?
They're giving me growing pains. I like them when they're right, but I struggle with them sometimes. I've plugged them up 4 or 5 times here in the last 100 acres.
Sarah wanted to see Onyx's new haircut. Isn't he handsome, Sarah?
It's a little sunny when we go this direction. Do you have a regular job? Well, no, I'm a farmer and a YouTubist. We gotta think of a cooler name for a YouTubist. What does Wes call? He's a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I mean, what would be a cool name for that?
I don't know. How in the world do we have such good connection quality when you're in the middle of a big field? There's no ligging at all. I think it must, because some people say it's bad and some people say it's good. It must just be with the up and down of the field. And I think the more that we move the camera around, I think that causes the lagging too. Do you live off your farm do you live off your farming or have another job too?
Well, this has become my other job now. Before this, I did move. I moved trees. I had a tree spade truck. Did that part time, and actually still help out a little bit. A farm financial advisor. So we put together balance sheets and cash flows, and work with other farms to look at finances. Did you ever get into tractor pulling? No, not really. I mean, I think it's awesome because I like horsepower, but no, I never got into tractor pulling. Just dirt track.
How many rows is your planter?
24 rows, 30-inch spacings, 60 feet wide.
Why don't we plant wheat in the fall?
Well, because wheat is because we can grow good corn and soybeans, so the markets around here don't want wheat. There's not very much of it. Some guys will plant wheat if they want to get in and do a tiling job or do some other work on the field, because that way it comes off earlier. It gives them a month to do some work to the field.
Do we have Amish up our way? Not right here, but where I grew up, which is about 40 miles, 30 miles away. Lots of Amish. My parents actually just sold the house that I grew up in to an Amish family, which is super bizarre.
Have you ever crashed a tractor? No, I haven't. Hope I never do.
You just jinxed it.
Is it possible to get in the farming industry by starting from scratch? What would your advice be for an 18-year-old who has interest in the business?
So my advice all the time for people that want to get into it, I have two different answers for that. If you want to try to get in and do what I do, that's going to be really, really difficult. The one option may be to find a farmer, an older farmer who needs help on his farm, and show that you like farming and that you're passionate about the industry, and show them that you're willing to work and that you care. And maybe you'll get lucky, and hopefully they can either let you in on some of that of what they have, or help you find a way to get into it one way or another. The second option, I tell everybody this, is that there's a real demand right now for know where your food comes from, know your farmer type of stuff, niche markets. If you can find a market like that and come up with an idea, you don't need big acres and big equipment to make money. There's a lot of people with one old tractor and some pretty small old equipment that are playing in the dirt, getting their hands dirty, and they make good money. As long as you find the market for that, there's options out there. So those are the two ways I tell people that you have an option to get into agriculture if you're not in it right now.
Somebody says hi from Australia, and we're getting the question a lot, will Onyx take over the farm? Onyx and his two sisters will most certainly have the option to take over the farm if they so choose. but time will tell.
I said something about the Challenger. Will you be demoing anything this season like you did with the Challenger last year? Well, right now we are demoing that J&M seed cart. So we've got that out here. Yeah, we might be demoing a tillage machine from John Deere. I don't want to say too much in case that doesn't work out. But yeah, and we have one or two things hopefully in the works for this fall for harvest.
Have you ever had to leave the crop through winter?
We had to leave the crop through winter. We chose to leave it through winter one time.
Was that the year Onyx was born?
That was the year Onyx was born. We left, we didn't leave it all. We left 300 acres of corn because it wouldn't dry down. It was the middle of December when we finally decided to quit. The moisture on the corn was at 36% moisture. So when you run that through the dryer, it's really expensive, especially considering it was 0 degrees or 10 degrees out. So we left it over the winter. We did not like doing that because you can get a lot of snow on it and snow will take it down. So it's risky, but it did work out for us. We combined it then in March on frozen dirt. Coors Light, thought you were a Miller family. You know what? We like Coors and Miller. I go for the Miller Light.
I'm not picky. I also like Busch Light, Keystone Light, Golden Light.
I like summer shandy when it's hot out.
I don't drink Bud Light or Budweiser.
There's a couple of
Did I miss a few?
D Beeks and Brad Buck. I guess just thank you. They didn't say anything.
How's the progress on your farm simulator map? It's happening.
It's happening. Yep, it's happening. We don't know when for sure, but it is happening. We've had a bit of a runaround with that behind the scenes, but it is in the works. It's happening.
No more farm babies.
Somebody asked if I was an only child. No, I have a younger brother. Actually, he lives in Moorhead, Minnesota, and works for a company up there.
I don't think I do need to try the strawberry natty light. I don't.
What kind of tractor is this? This is an 8370, 8360 RT John Deere. It's in phonics.
I'm from upstate New York. I saw you guys combining in January.
It's hard to know what I'm looking at here.
Any advice for someone who is interested in making farming videos?
You don't have to get them too complicated. If you want to make farming videos, you don't have to get fancy. I have multiple cameras now, but a GoPro is just fine, or a good cell phone. Am I covering it? No. Oddly enough, this is the same field we were in last year when we did the live stream in the spring.
It was, wasn't it?
Yep.
What time is it here? It is just about 8 o'clock. Seth Moore wants you to honk the horn. Pretty quiet.
Pretty quiet horn.
Does Onyx wish to be the only child? No. He needs to be entertained at every single moment.
Yeah, he needs a
would
brother.
like a brother, but he's not getting one.
Here, hold this quick. I got a problem with my field view here. Apparently this got bumped.
What county are we in? Just present moment. It's top secret.
This one.
Do you see it? Because of how it is?
You can tell it's our county because of the way it is.
Or is it our county? I don't know. What are some good ways to bring in income on a small 100-acre ranch besides cattle? probably don't have
I
enough
would-
experience
well,
to
yeah.
answer that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a good one to ask about that, but I mean, there's got to be some local niche markets, hopefully, especially if there's any population in the area nearby at all.
It's not gonna really have to get out of the tractor. But we see a Welker Farms and Millennial Farmer team up. Anything's possible.
I don't know, will you?
What's your biggest tractor?
We've got a 9560 RT John Deere. That would be our biggest tractor.
What's your smallest tractor?
6410.
Minneapolis Indian?
What variety of corn are you planting? Do you think it's too early to plant sweet corn? We don't plant any sweet corn around here either. That also is about 10 miles away on the irrigated ground because it's easier to get contracts with the companies that way. What else? What'd they say? Oh, what variety? We're planting channel 19449 right now. New 94.8.
Why the track units over tire units?
Compaction with our heavy soils, heavy clay soils. We get a lot of rain. Compaction. That's what we like the tracks for.
Do we like real maple syrup? Of course.
Yeah. Brian Schmidt's wondering if we'll run any USMTS races this year.
Is that a thing?
I honestly, what?
No, not that. The maple syrup. Are there people who actually don't like maple syrup?
No, they just had to ask a question.
Okay.
USMTS races. Honestly, I haven't looked at their schedule too closely, but maybe.
Did you do it last year?
Yeah, I think, well, it's either last year or the one before. They've had some big races in Fergus Valley. Coming from a non-farmer, how does your planter work? I do have a video, actually. It's like, it'd be 2 years old or 3 years old now that talks about how the planter works, but I would like to try to make a new one this year because I could do a better one now, but I can't really explain that in 1 or 2 minutes right now on a live stream.
What's the difference between Channel and Pioneer?
Different companies. They just have their own genetics.
Could you use FBN to go and check that out?
Yeah, you could use FBN. Yeah, I've done it. I mean, you can use FBN Seed Finder to find out if the corn that you're planting or the corn that you bought is also bagged as a similar corn, or the same corn put in a different bag. I don't know if I did feel like I did a terrible job of trying to explain that.
We'll work on it.
Someone asked about livestock. If you've ever thought about livestock, actually, I when I was younger, my dad had livestock. We had cattle and hogs. Dad did cattle and hogs for 20 years, off and on.
I remember the old shed. Did they wreck it before I was born?
Is there anyone on 22 or 22 rows? Yeah, there's a lot of people around here on 22 inch, actually. Did you get a Bob Pierce mod yet? Nope. Had a Bob Pierce late model, several of them actually.
How many hours per week has your social media work grown to?
A lot.
20 to 30 during the busy times for me, and
Definitely
then
way more than 20.
for me, that's my added workload, and then for him, I'd say at least another.
At least every bit of that or more.
Yeah, it's insane.
We are a 5th generation family farmer.
I'll be the 6th.
Do you think the master pipe layer has any clue what he's doing?
No. He might be watching. I haven't seen any. He always gets mad because he tries to comment on our live streams and we never answer.
Was that new commenting? I wasn't even paying attention.
It might have been. A lot of times we just read the comments and not the names. So.
Would
Maybe
you buy
Randy's
a cleaner
commenting.
combine?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Are you no-till seeding?
No, we are not no-till seeding. No, we do not have any no-till. There's very little no-till around us. We are going to try to do some no-till this year, perhaps. We'd like to work it with some cover crops because I think that might be, hopefully, the way to make it work. So
How many dead batteries today?
today, 0 so far.
Captain
it's just stand up
Obvious
there,
wants to know, do your tracks ever clog up during your run where you need to stop and clean them out?
No, we have never clogged up the tracks at all. They do pick up, they pick up the corn leaves or the corn residue from last year. Like in this field tonight, they're picking that up and throwing it on the row unit next to it, but it's not causing a problem.
How many RPMs does the tractor run with a 8360 RT when planting?
When planting with it on fully automatic transmission, it'll run right around 1600.
Lewis's vlog says hello from Idaho.
Brian Foster's wanting to know if we will ever run a Capello cornhead. Hi, Brian. Maybe. You know my number. You got my number. How many acres do you farm? 2,650 this year. Jeez, we're up to 3,000 people. Is Viking Speedway still a half mile? Yes, it is.
Do we know how or when the farming simulator map is? We don't know exactly. We don't want to tell you guys something and it not be correct. So our goal is midsummer, but it's only a goal. It requires a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do they have to get every detail?
Do you like Jimmy Johnson?
I like Jimmy Johnson.
When Zach and I started dating, I was not a race fan, and Zach told me I had to be a race fan if I was going to date him. So I told him he had to pick me a race car driver to be a fan of, and he picked Jimmy Johnson. And then from then on, Jimmy Johnson won like everything for the next 5 years at least. I don't know if you'll know this. Well, you know it, but how do you feel about farmers jailbreaking their John Deeres?
You know, I get asked about that a fair amount with the deer and the whole Right to Repair Act and that. Honestly, we've never had an issue with it. But I don't know when some of these newer tractors with all this technology get a little bit older, what's going to happen. I don't know, but we've never had, it's never stopped us from doing anything. It's never been a problem for us. I have spoken with a few people about it actually, because I'm trying to learn a little bit more about it because I get asked about it all the time. But the manager of our local deer store is kind of keeping on top of it pretty closely, and he's been filling me in on some things and sending me some links. I'll learn more about it, but it's never hurt us.
Should we tell them about my idea on the 5-minute like snippet?
No, because we're real wishy-washy and it might not happen.
Yes, we can tell you it's top secret.
We have a super awesome idea that you guys would love, but we can't say anything about it.
How many acres can you plant with full tanks before needing a refill?
If I put a box of corn in each side, I'm trying to point, but you got to point backwards. I can do about 250 acres.
It flies open.
And that's on corn. On soybeans, you can't do nearly as many. Soybeans, you can do about 80.
Is it safe to live next to cornfields?
Yes, it is safe to live next to cornfields unless there's a boogeyman hiding in them, which there usually is, so be aware. I recommend packing some heat, support the Second Amendment.
What's the most you've ever gotten per bushel on beans?
The most I've ever gotten per bushel on beans was $18.76. That was my first year of actually having my own crop in 2008.
J Robin 3 would like to
which
see
I still wish they were.
Would like to see you upload some racing videos.
Racing videos are tough because we're always busy at the track, and it's just more videos to do.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody would actually watch them.
When will we let Isla plant? She seems like the boss anyway.
She kind of is the boss, yeah. Well, she can't reach the clutch pedal yet, so she can't plant.
I can.
Dale Lewis says, for Pete's sake, Becky. You're welcome, Dale Lewis.
Oh, somebody's wondering about the farm simulator map. Does anybody want to know
Sorry,
anything
guys,
about
it's
our...
not happening. It's not. We're not doing it.
If you're thinking of going with a high-speed disc, give me a shout or an email.
You email us,
Yeah, you email me.
but only if you're...
How do you pick which questions to answer? Well, Richard, I just picked yours because it's the one that I looked at the moment that I didn't have anything else to say.
Scroll fast and our eyes hit on one and that's it.
Somebody was asking.
How many acres of corn do you have in?
985.4.
Somebody was asking what games you play.
What games do you play on it?
I haven't played games that often lately. I've played Madden 19, Farming Simulator, and Fortnite. That's pretty much all I've played.
Now
That's
you
pretty
know.
much all of them. There you go, guys.
Now you know. Do we need to turn?
How many acres do you plant per day? Very highly dependent on the day. Today, so far, 257.4. Yesterday, half that or less.
What fertilizer use in corn? I think he's asking what fertilizer do you use for corn?
Yeah, we use NP and K, standard NPK. Sometimes some sulfur and zinc. We don't mess with micros a lot. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Basic 3.
What are we planting?
Corn.
We are planting corn, field corn, channel 194.49.
Good night, Wes.
Good night.
Can
didn't
he
see
drive
any Wes's
already? Are you talking about Onyx?
He cannot drive yet. I mean, not legally.
Can I drive right now?
Well, not right now, but
Do good.
we're not going to do that live. Will you adopt me? I'm a 13-year-old farmer. Sorry, I got too many to handle the way it is.
Do you have to plow to plant corn on corn?
Well, you don't. I suppose you wouldn't have to. I have no experience doing no-till for corn on corn.
What's easiest to harvest? Corn.
Soybeans are easier to harvest. There's so much less product. Corn is a lot of work.
Somebody was also asking me what was my favorite.
Are there any 9RXs in your area? There is 2 or 3 in the area. There's a lot more quad tracks for obvious reasons. Where are the doggies? They're at home, running around.
Anna's probably sleeping.
Onyx is annoyed with how much the puppy sleeps. He thinks she sleeps too much.
She does.
Cyper Gaming loves the channel. Thank you, Cyper Gaming. Will you adopt me? I'm a 37-year-old construction worker. Maybe if you bring your own beer.
And you have to be a good handyman. Like actual handyman. You know, someone who uses a hammer.
I'll catch it.
Would you ever leave John Deere? Well,
Yes.
yeah, we have a good local dealer, but all tractors now are good. So yeah, I mean that Challenger we had last year was awesome. I know Case makes some really awesome stuff. How many acres of each crop you typically plant? Usually, we're pretty close to 50-50. This year we're going to be a little stronger on the corn. Have you ever run out of fuel in the field?
Not in the field.
I have not.
Thank
I
you,
really
Scott.
only specifically remember one time running a tractor out of fuel, and that was on somebody's driveway. And that was an old tractor. That was a white 2135 that took a long
That
time to
wasn't
get
you though,
going.
right? That was a farmhand.
Yeah, it was a farmhand. I was pretty young. Where was there Scott?
He didn't have. He just.
Just, jeez. Wow, thank you, Scott. Holy smokes.
Peter 103. Oh, everybody wants to be adopted. You guys, we already adopted one
Yeah, I
kid.
can
and
only
we have
adopt so many.
3.
How about this? I am announcing that I'm officially adopting all of you into my YouTube family. I will not be mailing out any certificates, but welcome aboard.
Ryan Schwartz says, I hope it goes to a great cause. I'll keep trucking. Do
Jeez.
other YouTubers donate their live stream funds to causes? Because we don't watch a lot of live streams, but that's definitely something we would be.
Yeah, wow, thank you, Brian.
We would highly consider.
Yeah.
Are there any organizations you guys think we should back up? FFA is always an obvious one.
That's cool.
And 4-H.
4-H.
Funny story, my name is Case. I got my name to make my uncle mad. He's a manager at John Deere. Sometimes I squint and it takes me a while to read because I got a little bit of a bounce here in the tractor. I'm a good reader.
How was it marrying into the farming life? An adjustment. When we were first married and young, it didn't faze me that much. But when Onyx was young and Rhiannon was young, like when they were babies, harvest was brutal sometimes. But now I've acclimated, and sometimes it's annoying when harvest is over and Zach comes home because you adapt to being a single parent, and then they come home and they mess everything up.
No, we
But
don't.
I love living on a farm.
How many people work on your farm? Myself, my father, and we've got Jim, who's been a good friend and part-time employee for many years. And then we have some seasonal guys that help us out in the spring and the fall. But full-time, just Dad and I.
What was your record corn bushels per acre?
Our record corn bushels per acre, like on an individual field, is around 220, which we've done close to that a few times. On a whole farm average, we've been right at or just under 200 a couple times, but people will tell you higher. Some people in this area, most of them are not correct, just like people in your area will tell you higher than they're getting.
Onyx, what are you
Hello
most
from Sweden. Sweden.
Onyx, what are you most looking forward to this summer?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Knowing Minnesota's quite rich in Scandinavians, where are you from? We are from west central Minnesota, near Lowry, to the west of town, where it is loaded full of Scandinavians. That's where my family came from, was Sweden, 143 years ago. Have you ever run a Case IH? Yes. In fact, we owned one. I put a lot of hours on a Case 3394, and we had a 7230. I think that's right. 7230 and 3394.
Did you ever use the ridge marker on the planter?
Just for my first pass around the end rows.
Rock Falls, Illinois. Cornfields are still underwater.
Still underwater. It's crazy. Well, this guy keeps asking if I'd ever race a 410. Yeah, I'd race a 410.
Somebody just asked a question
Like
about
sprint?
Yeah, that'd be a sprint.
Somebody just asked a question
So how much have you missed, Chase? About an hour.
Do you golf? Minnesota's known for great golf, and yeah, our area, Alexandria area, is known for really good golf. We have a ton of tourism in the area, but we don't golf.
How did we meet? At a high school party, I guess. I don't know if it technically qualified as a high school party because we were in high school, but the people whose house it was were not in high school. But at a party.
It was a party. It's always a party. Maybe we'll get divorced at a party.
Maybe. How old is Onyx? He is 9 3/4.
Nah,
Not 3.
9 and 5/8.
I
What do you think about New Holland?
No.
They're all good. They all got good and bad.
Good.
You guys don't have to stare at me. You can stare at that. The sun's going down. Beautiful night.
Show them the sun.
Somebody says to ask for likes. This video needs more. How do we know? What do we have 934, is that right? I think.
Likes?
Yeah.
Where do you see that? I don't know.
I think it's up at the top there. Oh, it's on mine because I got the recording device.
Oh, sure.
You
When
can
do
press
we
the
harvest
X
corn?
and
In October.
Mom, like our own video.
What do I use FBN for? Farmers Business Network. I like their seed finder app because I can go on there and see what seed is just rebagged in different bags and sold by different companies. I like the direct chemical pricing. You know, you can go on there and see if your local retailer is competitive. You can also buy direct from FBN. They offer health insurance now, which we do not have because we have a pre-existing condition.
I do.
What else? They have financing now. They have their seed, which we're actually, we've planted their corn seed already. The soybean seed, I've talked to a couple guys this morning, but I don't know, I'm not going to say anything about that yet. But we are probably going to be planting some of their some special soybean seed as well, I hope.
And if you guys are interested in signing up with FBN, you can follow the link on
Oh yeah.
one of our videos. I'll add it to this one when I get home.
Yeah, there's a link under our recent videos
and
to
use
join
the
FBN, save
discount.
$100.
Yes, but use the discount code
MNMF 100
There we go.
will save you $100 on a Farmers Business Network membership. How's the podcast going? Podcast is good. It's been fun.
Do
My
you
arms get tired.
if you haven't heard about the podcast,
Yeah, the Fieldwork podcast, where myself and another farmer, actually from southeast Iowa, we do it through Minnesota Public Radio, so it's a pretty official deal. We got a pretty rockin' studio that they bring us in, and we have legitimate guests, and we talk about things like soil health, water quality, conservation practices. It is a podcast by farmers for farmers, and you can find it on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. It's called Fieldwork. How's that for a plug, huh? Oh, my did I mention my co-host? He's from southeast Iowa. His name is Mitchell Hora. He's got a business called Continuum Ag, where he actually is a soil health consultant. So he's got all kinds of experience working with no-till, strip-till, cover crops, those sorts of things. So he makes a good co-host for me because I have very little experience with those things. And geographically, we are much different.
There was a question. Do you
Do I hunt? Yes, but not as much as I used to. I used to love duck hunting and deer hunting. Now I get out and hunt pheasants a couple times a year, and Onyx and I take the muzzleloader out a couple times for deer.
I can't stop yawning.
Another one. Do you hunt, Jackson?
Well, that answers that.
Yeah, I know.
Did you read this one?
Is the Montevideo track still open? Yes, it is, Brian. I haven't been down there since they shortened it, but they actually shortened up corners 3 and 4, I think, over the winter. Sarah. Oh, Sarah House. Sarah House says we need a gate.
Sarah.
We
Yeah.
did get a sign. It's in the living room right now, but we got it. Hi, Sarah. They keep asking about hemp. Would we farm hemp? Yes. We actually looked into hemp like 3 or 4 years ago before it was federally legal, when it was
But it
legal
was
by
in
the state.
Minnesota under a like a state trial program. We looked into it pretty hard, but the problem was then we couldn't get approved for our bank funding because banks are federally run. So we should probably look into it again, but now Zach's worried that the market will be too saturated. So
Robert Martin. What is Onyx's birthday?
I don't know that.
They don't. Have you ever been to Madison Raceway? Yes, many times. Not for a year and a half now, but used to race a lot of late model there. Especially in like 07, 08. Do you as local farmers pool resources or share info such as higher yielding varieties, etc.? You know where you can go to get that anonymous data in your area? Farmers Business Network. Yeah, it's all there.
Such a sellout.
What time is it here? It is... All my devices are busy at the moment.
It's got to be like 8:30.
It's 8:24.
Judging by the sun, yeah.
8:24.
Look at this. You think this thing will pick up that sunset?
We could do a live stream forever. It's just
Yeah, you could.
We've been on here an hour and a half. It's insane.
Do you watch Corn Warriors? I've seen a few episodes of it. Not a faithful watcher, but I do enjoy it. It's fun. Kale Hayden. Hi, Kale. He wants to know if I was in FFA. I was in FFA, but I was not super active in it. Do you ever see Brock Lesnar in Alexandria?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Quiet.
Do you like WD-40? Of course I do. Of course I do. Any good ones, Mac?
Alex has got it. Do you have to adjust the planter for different seed brands?
I adjust it not by the brands, but by the seed sizes. I adjust the vacuum according to the seed sizes to get the best singulation I can get.
Connie wanted to know if you like drag racing.
One of my teachers is a drag racer.
I don't dislike drag racing, but it's a different deal. Where do you record the podcast? Actually, in the Minnesota Public Radio Studios in St. Paul. Somebody asked about tannerite. Would you make a tannerite video this summer? Well, give me something to blow up, and sure.
Sarah wants to know if Zach's gotten snooty since becoming famous. Definitely. What's your
What
aim?
should we blow up?
Onyx just wants to know what we should blow up.
Her best friend blew off her hand with tannerite 4 years ago.
No.
Only half of it.
Her husband blew her hand off
Yeah.
with tannerite,
That
which
did.
caused her to drop her drink, break a window in the house, but the 55-gallon drum and the toilet did successfully explode.
But not her hand. Well, it did actually after some surgery.
It did. It's okay now.
It came through, but it was a bit scary there.
They were wondering if we do a lot of fishing.
Zach hates fishing.
I don't hate fishing.
Hey,
I hate fishing with young children because then it just turns into tying hooks and untangling lines. That's what I hate. I don't
What
hate
made
fishing.
you
I
so
love
famous?
fishing with adults.
What made you so famous so quick? We have no clue.
me.
Onyx.
Onyx.
It was him.
Hot wife.
All of the above. Minneapolis Moline, you still have it?
Yes.
Yep.
Favorite shotgun?
Well, I've got a Weatherby semi-automatic, so I'm kind of partial to that. But there's lots of good rifles.
What's your favorite song?
Where's all that coming from?
Which one the nuts?
I think we were dragging a lot of. The tracks and the roll cleaners sometimes seem to not get along.
Hello from Iowa. Love your videos. Thank you, Trevor.
Watch that pretty close.
Will the Twins make the playoffs? Gosh,
We
they're playing
Heck yeah, they
really
will.
good right now. We'll see.
Wait, what's the score? I want to check
Does
again.
anybody know the score to the
My
Twins
beans are
game
gonna
right
get
now?
cold.
Onyx wants to
Last
know.
time we checked it, the Twins were beating the Angels 1-0.
What do you-
Someone's at the Twins game and they were watching it.
Welker found a turd in the field. Congratulations, Nick.
You didn't see it, did you?
No.
It was on Instagram stories. I told you, Nick and I had fun on Instagram yesterday. It was awesome. He found it. He found a turd.
You did it.
It was good. It was well played.
Do you watch Game of Thrones? We don't, but I've been considering it. I might start it during
Game of
harvest when
Thrones?
Zach leaves me. It's a popular TV show for adults. Maybe kids can watch it. I
think there's a
Everybody's
game
saying
called
4-3
Game of
twins.
4-3 twins on it.
So, Nick found a turd in the field, and I want somebody to finally answer me on this. Is this a weather balloon? Did I find a weather balloon this morning?
It's a piece of junk.
No, it might be a weather balloon. Check that out.
It's a piece of junk.
It's a weather balloon
It's a...
or an antique cell phone. Somebody tell me what I found here.
What does the grain dryer smell like when it's running? We should know this because we lived like literally
It smells awesome.
300 feet away from it
This is a
all
weather
last
balloon.
harvest.
Can I see it?
No,
It
honestly.
just smells
I
warm.
want to check
I
out the
don't know.
weather balloon.
No. It's a weather balloon.
Oh, lots of comments now.
Twins winning.
That's good news. I want to thank you. Brian says, I want to thank you for the videos and bringing me into your family farm life. They are awesome. Thank you, Brian.
During the summer, I would like to make some behind-the-scenes farm life videos with the kids, but I don't know if I'm confident enough. We'll see.
What would you
Am I
do?
supposed to hop out soon and get a live Instagram sunset photo?
I don't know.
Make a picture of me and
Grew up on a
there, guys.
1,000-acre farm by Cosmos, Minnesota. Miss it dearly and so enjoy your videos. Take me back to my favorite memories. Thanks for the time you take to make these videos.
Cosmos. Every time I see Cosmos, I think of I'm Cosmo.
How's the dog healing up? Didge is doing well. By the end of the day, she was restricted to her kennel for like a week, just over a week, and we're letting her run now. And by the end of the day, she's limping pretty good, but I think she's healing up well.
Mommy jinxed it. No, it's gonna be worse.
What's your biggest mess up while farming? That's a good one.
It is. You know what I should do? I should mount the egg cam on the track so that I can see when it builds up right there.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I gotta do. My biggest mess up while farming? Oh, we loaded the wrong chemical into the sprayer in 2012, and we sprayed. Oh, it was over 200 acres of corn with the wrong stuff, and we caught it about. We caught it at that point. Otherwise, it would have been worse. But we ended up having to replant. We went in between the rows and replanted soybeans between, and the soybeans turned out pretty well. But the corn was junk. This guy says the radios would be smaller if it was a weather balloon.
Do you ever race at Arlington Raceway?
I have never raced at Arlington. No, not Arlington.
How many acres do you farm?
2,640.
Do you prefer planting
This
or
guy,
harvesting?
Anderson, says that's a weather balloon. I think he's right. I think he's
What
right.
about
Because you
the
look at that thing with the
cat?
antennas like that.
Somebody commented.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it now, but it's cool.
Somebody commented, what about the cat?
Do you ever race at Ogilvy?
Yeah, I've run at Ogilvy several times. I like Ogilvy a lot.
Somebody asked, what about the cat? We're getting a new one tonight.
We're getting a new kitten.
And we already have two.
What is your biggest field? We have a field that is 470 acres. That is our biggest one. So this guy is responding to Master Pipe Layer. So Randy is in here somewhere.
He is.
He's in here, Becky. Watch out for him.
I'm trying. He goes so fast. Somebody has the name. Never mind.
Some of these comments.
I think I
Master
know.
Pipe Layer, I'm back, he says. There he is, I caught it. That's the first comment from Randy I've ever actually seen.
For those of you who don't know, Zach and Randy are BFFs. And Randy is a professional tile player. Pipe
He's a
player.
master pipe layer.
Yeah, there
Minnesota
there we go.
Master Pipe Player.
I think the beans are Aurora Bradley are getting cold now.
She brought you beans?
Yeah, I told her I wanted beans. She said she was going to make them
What
anyway.
else is there? What else do you
How
have?
many acres do you own? Between Dad and I, around 1,000. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
One horse-sized dog.
100 duck-sized horses. A horse-sized duck could just hit you with that beak with one punch and you'd be done. One beak.
You-
Habab.
You throw a chainsaw at it and its feet.
I don't usually fight with chainsaws. That's dirty fighting.
Well, if you were cutting down a tree and there's a crowd of stampeded bears running for you, what would you do?
You're yawning on camera back. You're
I
supposed to
turned
come
away.
up with a question.
I'm sorry.
I keep on
Sorry,
yawning
guys. I might
too.
need to go to
For
bed.
Pete's sake, Beck. He's extreme manager. They pick camera and show you guys, but just Becky.
Dad, you want a snack,
We are kicking around the idea of going to the Masters, but it falls on a very difficult weekend for us.
What percent of the crop is planted in Minnesota?
You know what? Oh, you have my phone. FBN did a survey today asking how much corn was planted in the nation, and then they texted me a map at the end of the day on the results from the people who sent it in.
Aurora?
I would say we're close to, there's a hot spot in Minnesota to the northwest of us where they are 70-80% planted, but around here I would guess that 30% maybe.
Aurora?
Are we going to make it to the go-kart track this year? Things are looking up.
Will says your wife is hot. Thank you, Will.
I've seen that one like 6 times.
You've just been ignoring that one? Look at the, you can't see the sunset through the dirty windows. If you like sunset, check out my Instagram. Right.
We have to end the stream. We've been married 12 years this July.
Okay, then what do we have to say for
We've
the
been
end?
together for over half of my life. We
Well-
started dating when I was 15. Do the math.
What do we have to say if we're
She's
gonna end
18 now, so it's all good.
Would you ever like to go overseas to see how they farm? Absolutely.
I would love to go overseas and see how
She
they.
didn't marry me when she was 8 years old.
How do you know?
Because I did math.
Oh.
12 minus 18.
Anybody see anything wrong? What am I doing wrong back there? I could use some advice. So to explain how the planter works, the spinny things go around, spinny things in the back, close the seed trench, and then the magic happens.
They want you to plant deeper, too slow. Going 1 mile per hour is too fast. It's green, that's wrong.
Mom, didn't you say we were gonna end it? So we gotta start ending it and like say crap like that.
Some of these comments are hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Hear that? You guys are funny.
Some of you are funny.
Am I?
What is the folded up ends on the planter? I'm not, that's, those are called the markers. So you put them down and they dig a little line to show you where you need to drive next time in case you're not using auto steer. How many beers do you drink beer? Yeah, I do.
Too many.
I don't drink too many. I drink an appropriate amount.
Be quiet.
But we do like beer.
How do the roll cleaners work? There's been growing pains with them, but when they're working correctly, as they are right now, or when I figure out how to make them work correctly, then I like them. Have you been to the Super Nationals in Boone, Iowa? No, but I can't think of his name right now. Marty, not the exact car, but the car.
Next
Yeah.
video, there will be one tomorrow morning. Late morning, probably.
Oh,
New video late tomorrow morning.
I think so. I edited 2 today.
Somebody says to do a blooper reel. What's a blooper? Everything we do around here is just straight up perfection.
You're supposed to let us out.
They want it out. We only have like 1.5 rounds left of the field.
Alright, fine.
You gonna walk that far?
Yes. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm cold. We shut the air conditioning on.
Heck no. We still got what? Oh, we're losing viewers. We should probably call it.
Hi from Utah. Have you ever been here?
I have not been to Utah, no.
How long are you going to plant tonight?
Definitely getting this field done and loading the planter again. What is it? It's about 9 o'clock, so I don't know if... I don't know. We'll, I don't know. I don't know how late I'll plant. Keep going for a while.
Are you ignoring the nitrogen questions? We haven't seen them, honestly. What were the nitrogen questions?
Yeah, what are the nitrogen questions? I guess I can imagine what maybe they would be. This is for corn, so we put down 100 pounds of actual N, or 180 pounds of actual N, 130 pounds of N, and then we get another 30 pounds from the DAP that we're putting on. So for 150 total applied, roughly. And we're using urea, spreading urea, working that in. Todd Underwood says my FBN rep is awesome. He's wrong, but he's free to say that. Todd Underwood is my FBN rep. Awesome.
Do you like pizza?
Yeah, I love pizza.
I do too.
Here, it's pretty. I gotta go around another time.
Always.
Where do you want to see the farm in 5 years?
I'm just gonna leave it where it's at.
Me only.
Third year of, this guy's Minnesota. He's from Minnesota in his 3rd year of the hemp pilot program. Any thoughts on taking part in that industry? Supposedly a good 3rd rotation crop between corn and soybeans.
Heck yeah. I mean, I just don't know that much about it, but yeah, I'm really interested in it. I hope it becomes a legitimate third crop in the state.
Hello from Owatonna, Canada. It's too wet up there.
Owatonna, Canada. What's the most expensive crop to harvest? Probably corn in this area anyway.
What tractor are you using?
We are using an 8360 RT from John Deere.
It would have been a lot simpler if you would have said tractor.
What's the worst accident that's happened to the farm?
Tree
accident?
So the worst accident I believe that's happened on our farm, we've lost a few fingers.
Isla fell off the tractor.
Yeah.
Who's lost a few fingers?
That was doing some work with us 4 or 5 years ago, actually.
Remember that.
Worst one. That's it doesn't get a whole lot worse.
How do you
Hopefully.
like the rolling baskets on the planter?
On the planter, on the digger, on the field cultivator.
Yes, sorry.
We got the rolling baskets on the field cultivator this year
Couch of ice.
on the John Deere 2230, and we love them. It's awesome.
They say you should try and keep the camera still.
Yeah. Fix
No, I think they want to see. I'll try. I'm sorry.
They don't answer when we ask them. Do they want to see the planter or us?
They want to see me.
Your questions must come in sooner than mine. Have you torched the rolling baskets yet? Nope. I think we're gonna leave those. Ethan says we want to see you. Somebody else says both.
How many people have been the whole time?
Did you ever have an off-farm job? Well, yeah, I had jobs in high school. Also had a tree spade truck where I did some tree moving. That might have been about it. I did some tree planting for a teacher one summer. Here's what we're watching. Can't see my field view.
It's way there.
Oh, that field view is up there.
Still for a while. They can't see that at all.
horsepower rating on the tractor is 360 engine horse.
Oh,
I think we can call it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow we'll have a new video out.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah. Until then, hey, give a like, comment, and subscribe. Head over to Instagram, Facebook.
What are the really
How do you do? Smash that like button. That's right.
What else do they say?
Give it a subscribe, and then it's supposed to go ping. You have a subscribe button.
down in the corner. And then
Here, you tell them, Onyx. You
hit
tell
the
them.
notification bell.
Don't